Have you ever noticed how a baby will ignore the shiny, expensive toy you just bought and instead fall completely in love with a wooden spoon, a crumpled piece of paper, or a plain fabric ball with no lights, no sounds, and no batteries at all? It feels almost strange, doesn't it? Like babies are speaking a secret language that adults have simply forgotten how to understand. And what if I told you that this tiny, seemingly random choice is actually one of the clearest windows into how the human mind begins to form? Because babies are not choosing toys the way we think they are. They are not judging color or price or how impressive something looks. They are responding to something much deeper, something that lives in the earliest wiring of the brain. And once you understand it, you will never look at a baby playing again without feeling a quiet sense of wonder. From the moment a baby opens their eyes to the world, their brain is not simply observing, it is building, connection by connection, trying to make sense of a universe that is loud, bright, and completely unfamiliar. And toys become the very first tools this tiny brain uses to test reality itself. A baby is not asking, "Is this fun?" A baby is asking, "What happens when I do this?" And that single question, repeated over and over, is the real engine behind every toy preference you have ever seen. Think about the wooden spoon again. When a baby bangs it against a table, something happens instantly. There is a sound, there is a vibration in their hand, there is a reaction they caused entirely on their own. And that feeling of "I did that" is one of the most powerful emotional experiences a young brain can have, because it is the first taste of control in a world where almost everything else feels out of their control. This is where the story becomes surprisingly emotional, because what looks like simple play is actually a baby's first experience of power, the first quiet whisper inside their mind that says, "I exist and I can change what happens around me." And that whisper becomes the foundation for confidence, curiosity, and even trust later in life. Now here comes the first twist, the one that surprises most parents, because we tend to assume babies prefer toys that do the most, toys that light up, sing songs, move on their own, and overwhelm the senses. But research on infant attention actually shows the opposite pattern more often than we expect. Many babies quickly lose interest in toys that do too much, because when a toy does all the work, the baby has nothing left to discover. And a brain that is desperately trying to learn does not want a performance, it wants a puzzle. A toy that reacts differently depending on how it is touched, squeezed, shaken, or dropped becomes far more valuable to a growing mind than a toy that behaves exactly the same way every single time. Because unpredictability in small and safe amounts is not scary to a baby, it is fascinating, it is an invitation to keep exploring. And this is why something as plain as a cloth with different textures can hold a baby's attention longer than a flashing electronic toy that seemed impressive in the store. Picture a familiar moment many parents will instantly recognize. A baby unwraps a brand new toy on their birthday. Everyone in the room is excited, cameras are ready, and within minutes the baby crawls straight past the toy and becomes completely absorbed in the crumpled wrapping paper instead, listening to the crinkling sound, watching how it changes shape, feeling how it responds differently every time their tiny hands press into it. And in that ordinary moment, without anyone realizing it, a small scientist is at work running one experiment after another. And this is not a joke about wasted money. It is actually one of the purest examples of how the human mind begins its lifelong relationship with curiosity. Texture and touch play a far bigger role in this story than most people ever consider, because the baby's hands are not just for holding things. They are one of the very first tools the brain uses to understand the world, long before language, long before logic. And this is why babies are often drawn to toys with soft fabric, bumpy surfaces, or unexpected textures because every new sensation becomes a tiny piece of data their brain is eager to collect and store, slowly building an internal map of how things feel that will influence comfort and preference for years to come. Sound behaves in a strangely similar way, and this brings us to the second twist in this story, the one that quietly changes how many parents think about noise and babies altogether. While adults often assume babies are drawn to loud, exciting sounds, many babies actually show stronger, longer attention towards soft, repetitive, rhythmic sounds, the kind that resemble a heartbeat, a gentle rattle, or a slow, steady tapping. And this is not random at all, because those soft rhythmic patterns closely resemble the very first sounds a baby ever experienced inside the womb, meaning some toy preferences are not new discoveries at all. They are subtle echoes of comfort the baby is unconsciously searching for in a brand new world. This idea alone should make you pause for a moment, because it means a baby reaching for a soft rattle instead of a loud, flashy toy might not be making a random choice. They might be instinctively reaching toward a feeling of safety, a feeling of familiarity, a feeling that says, "This reminds me of something calm," even though they have no words yet to explain that feeling to anyone, including themselves. And this is where the emotional layer of the story deepens even further, because toy preference is never only about entertainment. It is quietly tied to emotional regulation as well. A baby who is overstimulated by too much noise, too much light, and too much unpredictable movement will often turn toward a toy that feels calm and steady, not because it is boring, but because their nervous system is instinctively searching for balance, searching for a small island of predictability inside a world that can feel overwhelming. And this is the same instinct that later shows up as comfort objects, favorite blankets, and those one specific stuffed animals that a child refuses to sleep without, night after night, year after year. Once you understand this, ordinary moments in daily life suddenly feel different, and you start noticing things you never paid attention to before, like how a baby might repeat the exact same action with a toy 50 times in a row, dropping it, watching it fall, picking it up, dropping it again, not because they are bored or being difficult, but because repetition is one of the brain's most powerful learning tools, each repetition slightly strengthening a connection, slowly turning uncertainty into understanding, turning confusion into confidence, and what looks like simple, repetitive play from the outside is actually deep, focused learning happening on the inside. Even the size and shape of a toy carries hidden meaning in this story, because toys that fit naturally into small hands that can be rotated, flipped, and explored from multiple angles tend to hold a baby's attention far longer than toys that are simply large, bright, or visually loud. And this happens because manageable, explorable objects give a baby's developing motor skills real opportunities to practice, to fail, to try again, and to slowly master something entirely on their own terms, without pressure and without anyone rushing them forward. All of these small, seemingly unconnected details begin to form a much bigger and more emotional picture the longer you sit with them, because what we casually call toy preference is really a quiet, ongoing conversation between a baby and their own developing brain, one that is asking again and again, what is safe, what is interesting, what is worth my attention right now? And every single choice a baby makes, whether it is choosing a wooden spoon over an expensive gadget or wrapping paper over a brand new gift, becomes a tiny piece of a much larger story about how humans learn to understand their world from the very first days of life. And perhaps the most powerful realization of all is this: long before a baby can speak a single word, long before they can explain a single thought, they are already showing us, quietly and honestly, exactly how they think, what soothes them, what excites them, and what helps them feel safe, if only we are patient enough and paying close enough attention to truly notice it. So the next time you watch a baby reach past every flashy toy in the room just to hold on to something simple, remember that you are not witnessing a random choice. You are witnessing the very beginning of a human mind learning how to explore the world, one small, quiet decision at a time. Subscribe for more mind secrets.